Welcome to the Inside Lane, a four-screen series where we explore the future of connected mobility. On today's show, we're thrilled to welcome our very own Head of Automotive Integration, Mr. Xaver Müller. Xaver, welcome to the show.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yes, we're finally doing this.
Yeah, it has been some time.
Yeah. Yes, this is the inaugural episode, and I thought no better guest to kick us off than you. And I actually wanted to begin with asking a question. What exactly does a head of automotive integration do at Fourscreen?
Yeah, that's a good question. So basically, as you might be aware of, that Fourscreen is a two-sided platform, right? So on the one hand side, we do have all our retailer customers. That is where our sales development team is working on. And then we have the automotive side. So on one hand side of our platform, we are working with the largest automotive manufacturers, such as Mercedes, Audi, Toyota, Hyundai, Kia, and Skoda, just to name like our partners that are live as of today. There will be coming more. And basically, this is where me and the team of the OEM team is taking care of, that we connect more and more OEMs to our platform. So basically, Head of Automotive Integration is integrating car manufacturers to our platform. And that means acquiring them, working with them on use cases, defining use cases together with them, and then running the integration process and getting more and more cars live so that more and more drivers can benefit of our Fourscreen content.
Fantastic. And I hear that you just passed your 3-year anniversary at Fourscreen. So first off, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
But how's your journey been so far with Fourscreen over the past 3 years?
Yeah, obviously there are different aspects to that question. So on the one hand side, maybe to start in the beginning, I joined like as the first employee in the automotive team. So when I joined, there was only Fabian, one of the founders, who is still today responsible of the complete area of acquiring like the automotive sector within our company. But from then it has been a ride, like very young company. We were below 10 people, now growing to almost 100 people as of today. So on the one hand side, there has been significant growth in the company. And as you know, like growing organization means new challenges, but also new chances, because like when you develop with this kind of organization, you can get up to speed, you can take up responsibilities, you can take up tasks and solve problems where they occur. So it has been a really interesting ride. That's on a company level, but also like regarding where we stand today, because back in the days when we started, we only had like a pitch deck where the idea was in PowerPoint more or less, and Fabi and myself, we ran around, we pitched to all the OEMs that I just mentioned and many more. And in the end, it was an idea that was at the end made the journeys to start off with. The OEMs put trust in us. We got the idea to live, and now we are live in millions of vehicles. So and continuously growing. So I think has been a success story so far. For me personally, growing into my role that I have since more or less 1 year. But also from a company point of view, that many people joined the ride, many cars connected to the platform as of now, and the growth is still ongoing. So no end in sight, I would say.
It must be amazing starting from a pitch deck and then actually being able to turn around and say that is a significant growth pattern, even in general for 3 years, but actually be taking part in that 3-year growth period yourself and seeing it firsthand. It must be quite an experience.
Yeah, definitely. I think there were a couple of really big milestones. So in the beginning, it was like when you start like with this idea and you start with just like a pitch deck or something, like the first thing that you have is maybe a POC with one of our OEM customers. And we actually had that pretty early. So we had one OEM who did some internal proof of concept. That's what POC stands for, by the way. So we had a video and we showed that to all the other OEMs, and we were telling them, look, that's how it looks like. And everybody else, yeah, it's actually working. That looks nice. So that was the big first milestone. And then obviously the next milestone was to have our solution live in cars. And the first ones to join us were Mercedes, Audi, and Skoda. So I would call them as wave one. So we actually had cars, and we still have the cars with our solutions, and you actually could sit in the car and experience it. And that was a complete game changer for us as a company, because going from, yeah, we have an idea and here's maybe like a mock-up or something, to, look, we brought a car, do you want to sit in there and experience it by yourself? It's a completely different feeling having that, which helped us tremendously. Now having also bringing live the next OEMs such as Hyundai, Kia, and Toyota live, because we could show them how it looks like. And this has been a huge leverage to increase our traction. And it still is like the most influential and best tool to convince OEM partners to join the ride, because seeing something on the paper is nice, seeing a video is nicer, but experiences in a car by yourself, it's a completely different story. And most of the times it's the most convincible, I would say.
Yeah, I even have that experience myself. I'm based in Berlin. You yourself, you're based in Munich. And when I was hired, it was around July last year. And it took about a month and a half before I attended the IAA Mobility. And that was the first time I actually got into the vehicle to actually see how the platform works. I was like, I sat down, and I think even some of our teammates were surprised. They're like, why is he like smiling? And I was like, I've never used this before. I was like, I also had to take photos and videos. So I had to ask people like, what buttons do I press? Like where do I press on the screen? Because I actually haven't experienced this. So I totally have a relation to that moment as well at the IA Mobility last year.
Yeah, and actually this is like also one of the challenges that we have, because obviously our like complete work culture based on Corona has changed, and there are lots of remote meetings currently taking place, but remote takes you a little bit of the chance, like really making people aware of that. And that's also why me and the whole OEM team, also with each and every OEM that we approach and talk to, we always want to do also in-car demos where we actually go to the client, go to the OEM to make it experienceable. Also, like during fairs such as IAA, as you mentioned, MWC, Mobile World Congress, we were this year at Barcelona. We will be at Move this year again. So we take every chance to get the people in the car, because it is a digital product, but still it's a product that you can experience. So I think the best way is really to sit down in the car and get yourself familiar with the features. Each and every OEM has done a significant, a great job to implement it. There are some twists in each and every implementation, but I think overall everybody did a great job. We haven't reached the end yet. There are always improvements that may be included. That's that's the logic of software development and digital development. So we always have a long backlog to improve the products and make them even more and even nicer for drivers. And also business partners. So yeah, we still have lots to do.
Yeah, and it is such a unique platform as well, which actually brings up my next question to you, which is like, what was your professional background that brought you to being the head of automotive integration? Considering it's like we have people from like an ad tech background, we have people from automotive background. Like, what's your experience and background that brought you to this role today?
Yeah, so basically, before joining Fourscreen, I've been working in the automotive industry for more than 5 years. I've been a management consultant, working with OEMs, German-based, but also international, Japanese OEMs, but also suppliers, tier 1 and tier 2 suppliers. Mainly been active in the, you call it CASE trends, so connected, autonomous, shared, and electrified. So this is also why I had this passion to join Fourscreen really in the beginning, because I came from a background where it was all about digitization and driving new trends. And that's what basically Fourscreen is standing for, that within the automotive industry, and you mentioned it, we are bringing EdTech in the end to this world. To actually drive data monetization, because that's what everybody is talking about. The complete industry is talking about new revenue streams, software-defined vehicles, how to generate revenues. And that's what we bring to the table to the OEM. And we have built this unique platform. It's really purpose built for this matter. And that's what makes us so unique in this context. And also our team exists, we do have all our employees have automotive background, so we understand the automotive industry. But on the other hand side, we also get insights on a daily basis from our colleagues from the sales department who teach us how to run EdTech. So we are building up this expertise here to bring together those two worlds. It's not easy because it's kind of new to the automotive world, but that's what innovation is all about. Changing something for the good, and driving the change of the industry.
Yeah, it's funny because I worked in a couple of different industries myself in my own experience, and we would sometimes use verbiage like we're a pioneer of some type of innovation. But this is one where I'm like, no, this is really pioneering. Like, there's nothing really like it. We're paving the way as we go forward. It's so exciting. Challenges and opportunities come because of that, but it is one of those times where it's like, wow, this is truly different and unique. So it's pretty good times.
Yeah, definitely. And so far, I would say we are the unique and only company doing that. Of course, there are other companies focusing on a slightly different aspect of this data business in the location-based services. But how we do it, I think we bring unique positioning to the table. We combine unique expertise within our team. We have proven that we can deliver. We do have great OEMs on board, but not only that, we also have great brands, merchants on the table. I'm sure that you will also talk to someone within the sales department to share some light on this part. So I will not spoiler who our customers are there, but it's the largest brands also on that side who trust us. And in the end, them joining our ride is, I think, proof point that we deliver a product that has a great product market fit, and we are here to stay.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And speaking of the different OEM brands that we currently work with, so you say we have Mercedes, Audi, Hyundai, just to name a couple. Like, what about if we had another potential partner who was interested in partnering with Fourscreen? Like, what would that process look like from like the very first step of engagement? Just to kind of paint a picture of like the process itself.
Yeah, so we do have a rather clearly defined, let's say, onboarding process for the OEMs or integration process. It all starts with getting to know each other and pretty much identifying the right people in the organization, because you have to imagine that OEMs are large organizations where thousands of people work and they have different responsibilities. And we have to, first of all, align on who's really driving the project on the OEM side. That might be in the sales department, might be in the R&D department, might be somewhere else in the strategy department, innovation department. We do see different approaches. I cannot tell you which one is the best, but it works out. I think our processes are rather flexible for that, but basically the process itself always looks rather similar. It starts with getting connected to align like the objectives, like how and why we are doing this exercise. And as soon as this aligned, we usually start defining use cases. So as you might be aware, we do have like 4 standard formats. That may be like a branded pin where we show a brand logo on the map. We do have a search use case where certain results that are coming via our platform are highlighted in the search result list. We do have the recommendation where we actually pair sensor data from the vehicle with our database. So when the fuel is low, we recommend you the nearest gas station that is offering you maybe a free coffee or a free ice cream when it's hot outside. And we do have the detail screen where you can experience all this kind of content that our business partners and merchants are providing, such as this voucher for the free coffee or free ice cream. So usually it's about aligning which of these kind of formats and how we want to implement them, then work together with them on an implementation concept. We go in there, we do technical architecture, we do technical assessments with them. We can bring best practices to the table. So we have some solution concepts that we usually use because also we bring expertise to the table. And as I always call it, it's something to hate because going into meetings, it's always better to bring something to the table that the counterparts can tell you, yeah, but this is not working. We cannot do that. This triggers always like a discussion that is usually very fruitful compared to when you don't have anything and you start from scratch, like everybody sits in the table and says, yeah, where to start? And I think we are now in the unique position that we have seen lots of implementations, and out of this we have seen what works good, what does maybe not work so good, so we can give recommendations to the OEM how to do something. And as soon as we have kind of we know the objectives, we have defined the use cases, we know that it's working for the OEM. Usually that's when the contract work is being kicked off. So we go in contract and commercial negotiations with the OEMs. And as soon as this is sorted out, we go to the implementation process, where usually all the development teams are coming in. So that's basically where our tech team and the OEM tech team are getting active, implementing our solution, followed by intensive testing. There's testing on OEM side, but also on our side. And at the end, when we are happy with the product and both sides give approval, we are ready for go live. And that's basically where our sales team is coming in, because then our sales team is responsible for delivering great merchants and business partners, so that drivers in the end can experience the 4-screen solution in the car. And after go live, it's basically learning from the data, seeing like how are the products performing, where can we improve, where can we maybe add certain features to make customers and business partners more happy. And customers stands for drivers in this case, because like we have two consumers, let's say. On the one hand side, it's the drivers who have to have like a great experience in the car, and on the other hand side, we have our business partners that are basically paying for being on the car screen. So that's why we have to consider both, because only if both are happy, the product is performing well, and that's how our processes look like. Runtime from start to end, roughly between 6 and 12 months. Depends a little bit on the length of the processes, how quick decisions are taken. But for OEM and automotive standards, this is like really quick product implementation. And that's also why it enabled us to already, after 3 years, we are live with more than 6 OEMs right now.
That's incredible. Yeah, I mean, that's really detailed too. I love it. So, with all of that, is there any particular moments you've had in the past 3 years that you kind of determine as like your personal favorite experience, or like a particular part of a project that you've worked on in 4Screen that is a highlight for you so far?
Yeah, so basically, talking from the OEM perspective, each and every OEM go live was a highlight for itself. There was like the very first OEM going live. There was the very first OEM going live with a branded pin. There was the very first OEM going live with search. There was the very first OEM going live with multiple use cases at a time. There was a first OEM going live in the US. There was a first OEM going live in another country. So I would actually say, for me, really seeing the growth and coming from multiple highlights to really a point in time where we now can say that we have a stable product. It's always nice to see them going live. Nevertheless, whether that's in German OEM, European OEM, Asian OEM, or anything else. So go lives, actually, that's what myself and the complete team is driving for. So that's basically what the highlight is from a content perspective. company-wise, I think it's really seeing the company growing, but keeping the spirit that we had there from really the start of the company. Because at the beginning, when you are like below 10 people, you know each other, and culture is developing pretty much by itself because everybody's talking to everyone. And then growing like to 20, 30, 40, 50, and even more people, it's becoming more and more detached. Like you are still there. You might have your 10, 15, 20 rather close counterparts that you are working on with on a regular basis, and you know them and you know how the culture is. But to see that this culture also has transferred to other parts in the company where you may not operate on a daily basis, but then coming together, may it be on a Christmas party or a summer party or something like this, and having a very similar spirit. It's not exactly the same, but it's the same spirit that makes the company so unique. Like everybody is committed to drive the success. Everybody gives his or her best, and in the end, we can only succeed if everybody brings in his or her expertise. That's actually one of my highlights at Fourscreen as well.
That's great. And I mean, after you've detailed like just each step in how an automotive brand can actually reach the finish line for a partnership with us, like the fact that we've done so many of them actually speaks to the actual success of the communication and work ethic that yourself and other departments have, because it seems like a ton of milestones that have been hit just in the short lifespan of this company in general.
Yeah, definitely. And as pointed out, I mean, we do have experts coming from the OEM industry. So the three founders, they have all automotive background. So that's also why it was, especially in the beginning, like because we were on dependent, or the company was dependent on OEMs joining the rides. Because in the end, if we didn't, or if we don't have any cars to play out our content, there's nothing that our company really can sell, right? So we were really dependent on that. But as you mentioned, like the success shows that our approach, also our way of working, and I would call it like really proactive. So we are not just sitting at the table waiting here for the OEM to call us, but we really drive the topics. Like in projects, we usually try to take the driver's seat and to drive the projects to success. That might be stressful from time to time, and maybe also sometimes frustrating, because also I mentioned that all the OEMs, they have large like organizations, and with large organizations there come like processes with it. And of course, us as a rather small company, we can take decisions really, really quickly. If I have a question or a decision need, I just go to one of the founders pretty much, I align with the respective expert within our company, and I get like a decision within a couple of sometimes minutes, hours, maximum days. And at those larger organizations, it may take time, but because we have this experience, we know how to handle this and how to deal it. And yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but in the end, we always make it, and we understand the OEMs. And that's also the feedback that we get on a daily basis from them, that they appreciate our way of working. And so far, each and every OEM is happy with our solution and still is with us, even talking about further expansions, may it be further countries, further use cases, next infotainment generations. So everything's working rather well on our end, I would say.
Actually, that's my next question is, can you share any updates about like what kind of future innovations or kind of unique plans that we have in store for either the driver or for like the integrations within the OEM partners that we have? Is there anything you can share with us? A little exclusive scoop?
Yeah, maybe we just go back, like have a brief recap on what we've done so far this year or the last 12 years, because I think there has been also some highlights already. So for example, we launched our product mainly in Germany and in the UK at the beginning, like pretty much 2 years ago when we went live. By then we have added like pretty much all core European markets to the roadmap. So really expanding from a regional point of view. Early this year, we also launched our product in the US. So we expanded like globally, really. So that's like one of the highlights that we had so far. And now looking ahead, and of course all the OEMs that joined the ride, right? So we started off with Mercedes, Audi, and Skoda, and Hyundai, Kia, Toyota kicked in end of last year. And this is basically also the path that we will go forward, like adding new partners, namely OEMs to the pipeline. There are actually 2 partners that I cannot disclose as of today, but I don't know when the video is going live. So fingers crossed that they are live by then. No, but seriously, there are more OEM partners in the pipeline coming within this year. We will significantly increase like our OEM brand reach, so multiple brands to be added here. And then it's basically also improving the products, like making them even smarter than they are today. Personalization is a big topic that we are driving today, so that we really know that Chris or Xaver is sitting in the vehicle, and we can then really play out specific content because we know Xaver really is into running. Chris is more into football or whatsoever. So we can play out like specific content. This is basically the direction that we are currently taking to even shape the products more in a personalized way for every driver.
Wonderful. Well, that's been amazing. Thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your insights and your experience and even teasing what's ahead for Fourscreen. That's a wrap on episode 1. If we had, say, an OEM partner or an automotive brand who wanted to get in touch, besides going to fourscreen.com/becoming-partner and actually booking a meeting, is there another way that they can get in touch with you? Will you be at an upcoming event, or is there somewhere online that they can reach out to you and kind of begin a conversation?
Yeah, definitely. So easiest way is just connect via LinkedIn, ping me a message, and we will take it from there, or use our contact form, as you mentioned, on the web page. We will be present at the Move London coming, I think it's 19th and 20th of June this year. We will be present at the Autotech in Detroit. So those are the 2 upcoming events, automotive events, where we will be present. So just watch out for one of my colleagues attending the events, and then we take it from there.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. And to all the viewers and the people who are checking out this video, thank you so much for watching. If you'd love to learn more about Fourscreen, I recommend you visit our website, fourscreen.com, or follow us on LinkedIn as we post regular updates and news about connected mobility and our product. I want to thank Xaver once again for joining us. And for everybody, see you next time for another episode of The Inside Lane. Take care.
Cheers. Bye-bye.